Let's dive right into this explainer and completely reframe something that pretty much every single one of us struggles with. Those agonizingly quiet, painful seasons of waiting. You know exactly the feeling I'm talking about, right? You're putting in the hours, you're doing the gritty work, making all the sacrifices, and yet nothing. Crickets. The scale doesn't budge, the bank account isn't growing, the relationship status hasn't changed, and your career just feels entirely stalled out. If you're in that phase right now, where it feels like you're just pouring your soul into an empty void and seeing absolutely zero results, stick with me. You are in the exact right place today. I want to ask you something, and I really want you to let this sink in. What if the absolute most important part of your life is happening where nobody can see it? We have this incredibly deep-seated habit of panicking the second our progress isn't visible to the naked eye. We just naturally assume that if our growth isn't loud, or if it isn't glaringly obvious to everybody around us, well, then it simply isn't happening. But that assumption, it is profoundly flawed. The reason we feel that creeping sense of panic really just comes down to a massive clash between modern culture and nature. Think about it. Our society is completely obsessed with speed. We are hardwired to expect instant rewards, measurable progress, and immediate visible growth. I mean, every time we open our phones, we're just bombarded with fast success stories, viral fame, and, 22-year-old overnight millionaires. It slowly convinces us that if our own success takes too long, there's gotta be something fundamentally wrong with us. But nature plays a completely different game. Nature relies on immense patience, hidden roots, and a delayed harvest. Long before you see a single green shoot pop up above the soil, something invisible and monumental is happening underneath it. Roots are spreading in absolute silence. Seeds are breaking apart in the dark. The foundation is being built where literally no one is watching. Because we live in this hyper-accelerated instant gratification culture, waiting feels almost offensive, doesn't it? We view it as a glitch in the matrix or some kind of unfair punishment. That illusion of speed creates this terrible, heavy despair when our actual day-to-day reality doesn't match up with everyone else's highlight reels. And the absolute tragedy here, the real heartbreak, is that countless people just quit during these invisible seasons. They abandon their biggest dreams, they walk away from brilliant ideas simply because they can't see the momentum yet. They leave relationships because the healing process is messy and slow. They just stop pursuing their life's purpose because the reward didn't show up on a guaranteed 2-day shipping schedule. To really wrap our heads around how true, sustainable growth actually works, let's look at the life cycle of the Chinese bamboo tree. I want to deliberately slow down here for a second because this metaphor is just incredibly profound. In year 1, you plant the seed, you water it, and nothing happens. It's purely invisible root development. Year 2, you keep watering, you fertilize it, and still, invisible root development. Year 3 is exactly the same. By year 4, there is absolutely nothing above ground. To anyone impatient watching, this looks like a complete and utter failure. You've literally wasted 4 years staring at dirt. But beneath the surface, an enormous, complex root system, miles of it, is developing just to anchor what's coming. Then in year 5, astonishing upward growth. The tree shoots up 90 feet into the sky in just a matter of weeks. What looked like a frustrating, painful delay was actually intense, life-saving preparation. Now this concept completely flips our cultural narrative right on its head. Let's just redefine the word entirely. Delay is not a denial, it's not a failure. It is an active period of necessary unseen development. So what you're experiencing right now in your own life, it's not a roadblock, it's not a dead end, it's the root building phase. It's the time when you are gathering the nutrients, the emotional resilience, and the structural integrity that you're going to need to hold up the future you're trying to build. But man, it's hard, isn't it? Let's just acknowledge the reality of that pain. Society loves the harvest, but it rarely honors the hidden season before it. Honestly, it's so validating to just admit that struggle out loud. Most people only respect the visible success. They applaud the championship trophy being hoisted up in the air, but they cringe at the thought of the years of exhausting, repetitive, totally unglamorous practice that actually made it possible. We celebrate a business when it rings the bell at the stock exchange, but we completely ignore the lonely nights when the founder was maxing out their credit cards, questioning their sanity, and desperately wanting to quit. During this hidden season, though, something invaluable is being constructed inside of you. You're quietly developing these unseen traits: trust, wisdom, healing, love, and profound confidence. Think about it. Anyone can stay committed when the results are rolling in fast. That's easy. It takes zero character to stay motivated when you're constantly getting rewarded. But when nothing seems to happen, when the silence is just deafening, that is exactly when your true character is exposed and fortified. Waiting has this strange, powerful way of revealing what really matters to us, kind of burning away all our superficial motivations. The most durable, unshakable things in life, they're formed gradually, not instantly. Which brings us to a very personal and honestly a pretty challenging question. Do you still trust the process when the applause disappears? Do you still keep moving forward when absolutely nobody notices your effort? That space, that empty void, is where the real transformation happens. It's the ultimate test of belief. Take the inventor James Dyson, for example. He famously spent 15 years alone in a shed, creating 5,126 failed prototypes for his vacuum cleaner. No applause, no money, just failure after failure in the dark. Long before historic breakthroughs happen, innovators, leaders, and artists have to answer yes to this very question in complete obscurity. They have to keep building their roots when the whole world is telling them they're crazy. And let's be fiercely honest about what makes this process so excruciatingly difficult for us today. Social media is the ultimate non-stop harvest. It completely hides the winters. Watching other people succeed in real time can make your own progress feel completely non-existent. Comparison becomes an incredibly dangerous trap here because people rarely broadcast their hidden struggles, their doubts, or their failures on their public profiles. You end up comparing your messy, behind-the-scenes root development to someone else's perfectly curated highlight reel of the harvest. This illusion creates so much unnecessary despair. It makes us feel like everybody else in the world is blooming with vibrant color while we're just sitting there staring at the dirt. When we feel that deep, comparing despair, we usually try to force things to happen faster. Imagine the sheer irony of a farmer acting out our modern anxieties. Picture this. Step 1, the farmer plants a seed. Step 2, he gets anxious, so he digs it up every few days just to check if it's growing yet. Step 3, because he keeps unearthing it, he completely destroys the process. It sounds absolutely ridiculous, right? No actual farmer would ever do that. Yet emotionally, professionally, and personally, this is exactly what we do. We demand immediate certainty from a process that is biologically designed to unfold slowly. We panic. We constantly question whether the growth is real. And in our desperate attempt to control the outcome, we uproot the exact process we so desperately want to succeed. To truly understand the nature of our current season, we need to make a critical distinction. We've got to distinguish between being stuck, feeling trapped, motionless, and failing, versus being prepared, which means being buried, transforming, and building depth. A seed buried under inches of heavy, dark soil might feel trapped. In the cold, it might literally feel like it's been buried alive. But it isn't trapped, it's actively transforming. The pressure of the dirt is exactly what cracks the seed open so life can actually begin. The darkness isn't a punishment, it's preparation. Making this shift in perspective completely changes how we view our painful setbacks. Think about these as hidden redirections. The heartbreak you thought would completely destroy you, it's actually expanding your emotional strength and your capacity for future empathy. The anxiety you're battling every single day, when you fight through it, is forging an ironclad resilience. And sometimes, actually, scratch that, a lot of times, flat-out failure is protecting you. What if those delayed opportunities and rejected applications are actually shielding you? Because sudden visibility and rapid success can absolutely destroy an unprepared person. If you're handed the world before your roots are deep enough to sustain it, the sheer weight of it will crush you. Your character has to grow deep enough to support the immense, heavy blessing of your future success. Modern culture whispers the exact opposite, of course. It constantly tells us we need to hurry up, outpace our peers, achieve faster, and just produce relentlessly. We run endlessly on this treadmill until we end up completely mistaking speed for purpose. That relentless pressure leaves so many talented, brilliant people totally exhausted and burnt out before they even hit 30. But speed alone does not guarantee a meaningful destination. And arriving quickly definitely doesn't mean the outcome will actually satisfy you when you finally get there. Rushing a harvest only yields bitter, underdeveloped fruit. The true beauty of the unseen harvest is that transformation begins long, long before any public recognition arrives. If you stay the course, one day what was hidden will finally break right through the surface. The growth will become visible to the world, all those painful lessons will finally connect into a clear picture, and the agonizing waiting will make perfect sense. Because the greatest miracle was never the harvest itself. It was the person you became while you were learning how to wait. So I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to carry with you today. Who are you becoming while you wait? Don't ever assume that nothing is happening just because you're in the dark. Your roots are growing. If this explainer spoke to you today and helped reframe your own invisible season, make sure to subscribe for more insights that inspire growth, purpose, and unshakable resilience. Until next time, keep watering the soil and keep trusting your unseen harvest.